I'm Ronald J. Thompson, MD. I would like to welcome all of the distributors in Russia to the NHT Global Network. Viacream was brought to the market by NHTC in, I can't remember if it was January or February of 2001. It did very well as Viacream. I gave it the name. I liked the name. Of course, it plays on Viagra for women, but I didn't want to call it Viagra for women. Viagra and the Alura, which was first of all Viacream, work exactly the same. They work exactly the same physiological process of increasing the size of the venous corpus cavernosa in the clitoris and the corpus cavernosa in the penis. They work exactly the same. Actually, we were manufacturing it in 2000 also, and that's one of the reasons that NHTC came to us, is we had the product a little bit on the market. I'd already had it through tests. We'd already done all of our clinicals on it. We had already gone through all the safety validations that are necessary to produce it and to assign it a shelf life. And NHTC came to us and said, we'd like to sell this product. And we'd like to sell it exclusively. And we said, well, we'll give you a time to prove yourself. And that was the first several months. And they did. The 1998 Nobel Prize in Medicine was awarded to the three men who discovered the nitric oxide synthase system. And the nitric oxide synthase system starts with L-arginine. L-arginine is converted into nitric oxide by the nitric oxide synthase system. That's an enzyme. So an enzyme converts one substrate, one thing, to another thing. Well, the nitric oxide is a gas, but it's a signaling molecule, and it causes GMP to be made. GMP is a potent vasodilator. So the nitric oxide causes the GMP. The Alura works to increase the production of the nitric oxide from the L-arginine. The abundance of the L-arginine into the tissues stimulates the development of nitric oxide 10 times as much as Viagra. The Viagra is like the bathtub, and you close the drain and then you fill up the tub. The Alura is like you use 4 fire hoses to fill up the tub. Alura has FDA approval in the United States, and in Europe has a CE mark. Now, the indications in both of those situations for regulatory agencies, it's approved to enhance intimacy, okay, and increase sexual responsiveness for women. And we have 2 patents that grant exclusivity of our use and our ownership of the combination of menthol and L-arginine, and the specific use of them, the menthol to increase sensitivity and to act as a vehicle to transfer the L-arginine into the tissues. And then where the L-arginine will stimulate the development of copious amounts of nitric oxide and cyclic GMP. Those patents, there are 2 of them, and they're worldwide, in every country, including China, in Russia. You know, and these are patents that are viable and still in force, and can be in force for another 14 to 15 years. NHT Global and 40Js has a long and rich history. Also, we have a long collaboration and rich history with Applied Labs, who makes the Alura. This goes back with Applied Labs and the production of the Alura back 9 years, and collaboration and as a marketing partner, NHT Global, for the past little shy of 9 years, but almost 9 years. there have been no modifications of the Alura product in the last 9 years. You know, it took me 2 years to get it right as far as the level of menthol, level of L-arginine. Once I got it right, that's the exact formulation that is approved by the FDA and approved by the European Registry for the CE mark. We really don't want to change that, and we haven't changed that in the last 9 years. I quite frankly developed this for my patients that were in their mid-30s to 40s to 50s. That is when a lady's estrogen level is declining, and her sexual responsiveness, you know, maybe won't be the same as it was when she was 20. I also developed it for my ladies who were 19, 20, 21, 22, who were on the birth control pills, because being on birth control pills gives them sexual responsiveness of about a 45-year-old lady. So I developed this for two populations of women. The birth control pill ladies and the ladies who are what we call perimenopausal. Peri means surrounding. Menopause is typically age 49 and a half to age 50. And the problems with those two stages is that you have a declining or very little estrogen. So the real recommendations for the product are to be used every day, a small amount every day, on the genital tissues after a bath or shower. That will revitalize the tissues. Without using estrogen, it'll be like you're taking estrogen. And then it'll make it much more effective when you use the product with intimate episodes. I know that Alura is used as far as a lip plumper. I've heard of other uses as far as with discolorations in the skin and with wrinkles and other anti-aging kinds of things. Regrowing hair, some people have told me, and some things with increasing the vascular circulation, especially in the extremities like the legs. I can find possibly scientific reasons for positive reports that I have from people. I don't know really of any studies. Now, I haven't really looked in the last year or two about studies relative to the nitric oxide synthase system and inducing it, but it's like I really am not aware of anything, of any real studies that prove that, although people have told me that it does work for them. Why is Alura a valuable product, right? That's very personal. It's very personal for every lady who has ever used it. To some ladies, to have the youthfulness and to have the sexual responses that they had when they were in their early 20s or maybe their late teens, that's very important. For some ladies, as they get older and their hormones naturally change, you know, their sexual responsiveness doesn't really mean much to them, okay? Or they lose the importance of it. Certainly, this is a product that can bring back that sexual responsiveness. It will replace what women in their mid-30s to 50, 60, 70 have lost normally with aging, okay? It can replace, for ladies on birth control pills, the superimposed aging that birth control pills places on their hormones. 92% of ladies can experience an intense orgasm with the use of our product. Nothing in medicine is 100%. I think 98% of women experience lubrication to where they need it, okay, to accommodate and allow intercourse. It's not hormone replacement, but it makes up a lot for the hormones. And it does make up a lot for the hormones. How do women describe to me that they have reactions when they use the Alura? Well, you know, if 100 women would describe it to me, I would get 100 different responses. Things are different for every woman. Things are different as far as her previous experience that she brings into the picture. Things are different as far as where her hormones are. And when I keep talking about the hormones, the reason I talk about that is because the estrogen level will determine how youthful the vaginal and vulvar tissues are. In other words, how responsive they can be. How much are the nerves going to respond to some stimulus? And then they realize that there's a gentle warming that happens after that. And the initial reaction comes from the menthol. The gentle warming and the feeling that they're lubricating, and that's what ladies talk to me about, comes from the induction of the nitric oxide synthase system with the L-arginine. And then, with more stimulation, they get a clitoral erection. And then with more stimulation, they can achieve orgasm. The product has been sold in probably by now 40 countries. And as best I can estimate, and it's like I have help estimating this, by probably about 40 to 50 million women.